Antelope reads a, a, a. Antelope reads a, a, a. Antelope reads a, a, a.
The tacky taffy stuck so fast that Abby Antelope just gasped. Miss Abby Antelope can't stand the tacky taffy on her hands.
Mule reads Mule reads Mule reads
Milton the mule made me surprise. A cute mini mule doll, just the right size.
Sunfish reads Sunfish reads Sunfish reads
Sandy the sunfish smiled as she swam. A family she's found in a chimpanzee stand.
Fox reads Fox reads Fox reads
What's the large resound Fred's Felix Fox? Come, let's see, says Father Fox.
Let's meet a new animal friend. Who's the new animal? It's Ricky Rabbit. Rabbit reads er. Rabbit reads er. Rabbit reads er. Okay, now let's sing the song. Rainbow's the name of our green-cheeked Ricky Rabbit. Rickety ride down the track. What a racket.
It's time for our animal story from our word building phase. Yeah? Ricky Rabbit. Ricky Rabbit was so excited about the train picture he had been painting. Ricky Rabbit had planned to give it to the railway workers who were so friendly. But Ricky Rabbit accidentally dropped his green paintbrush across the last car of his train, the caboose. Ricky Rabbit's train picture seemed ruined. Or was it? Daddy and Mommy Rabbit rushed into the room. They saw the green paint that had fallen on the caboose. What shall I do now? Sighed Ricky Rabbit. Let's stop and think, suggested Daddy Rabbit. There must be a way to fix the picture. Daddy Rabbit, Mommy Rabbit, and Ricky Rabbit thought and thought. I know, shouted Ricky Rabbit as he hopped up and down. I will paint stripes of different colors on the caboose. That'll make the last car on the train very pretty. Great idea, praised Daddy Rabbit. It'll remind us of a rainbow. Rainbow. What's a rainbow? Do you know what's a rainbow? Yes, rainbow. It's 7 colors. It has 7 colors. After Noah and his family came out of the ark, remember, there was flood for 40 days and 40 nights. That means there was rain. It was raining for 40 days and 40 nights. And after that rain, after 1 year or 2 years, Noah came out of the ark along with his family. And then God put a rainbow up in the sky. You know why? To tell that I love you very much and I'll never flood the earth. I'll never destroy the earth with a flood again. Isn't that such a nice promise? Yeah. And since then, God never destroyed. There were many floods, many storms, many floods, but there was never a flood that destroyed the earth till today. Okay, that shows that all God always keeps his promises. We have such a great God, right? A good and kind God. Daddy Rabbit, Mommy Rabbit called Ricky Rabbit. Look at my caboose. It's my rainbow caboose. Yes, son, replied the father and mother. You have painted so wonderfully. Knock, knock. Someone was at the front door of the rabbit family's house. It was a special delivery. Special delivery for Mr. and Mrs. Rabbit and Ricky Rabbit, chirped Robin. Okay, the mailman. Robin handed a big orange envelope to Daddy Rabbit. Special delivery, huh? Gasped Mommy Rabbit. What can it be? Daddy Rabbit carefully opened the big orange envelope. There was a letter inside. Daddy Rabbit read the letter out aloud. Dear Rabbit family, we want to say thank you for all the raspberry tea that you gave us. There are three special tickets in this envelope. These tickets will let you be the first rabbits of Rabbitville to ride the Rabbitville Roller Skate Railroad. Thank you. Signed, the Rabbitville Roller Skate Railroad Workers. Daddy and Mommy Rabbit looked at each other in surprise. Ricky Rabbit rolled right across the floor. Yippee! Shouted Ricky Rabbit as he jumped to his rabbit feet. Tomorrow morning, we'll ride the new railroad train. The rabbit family sat down for a yummy raisin supper. Everyone talked about tomorrow's train ride. Let's do something special, remarked Daddy Rabbit. After supper, let's watch the railroad workers finish the new railroad tonight. The rabbit family got into the truck. Vroom, vroom. Daddy Rabbit started the engine. The rabbit family drove down to the railroad tracks in town. Hello, called the friendly railroad workers as the rabbit family walked up. Railroad workers were polishing the wheels of the new train. They were carefully painting the new train too. The big engine was being painted a bright orange. Daddy Rabbit and Ricky Rabbit walked around the shiny train. They looked at all the pretty painted cars. Daddy and Ricky Rabbit were careful not to bother the busy railroad workers. The new railroad cars were painted, except the very last one, the caboose. Splish, splash! The railroad workers started to paint the caboose with orange paint. Oh no, groaned the railroad workers. We do not have enough orange paint for the caboose. The Rabbitville roller skate railroad train must roll tomorrow. What shall we do? What shall we do? Chattered all the other railroad workers as they rushed around. Clankety clank, the workers started looking in all the other paint cans. There was just a little bit of paint left in each can. There is a little blue paint, a little red paint, a little green paint, a little yellow paint, and a little orange paint left, whispered Ricky Rabbit. Suddenly, Ricky Rabbit's eyes got round with excitement. Ricky Rabbit had an idea. Daddy, Daddy, cried Ricky Rabbit. Why not paint a rainbow like my train picture? Daddy Rabbit smiled a great smile. That is the answer, exclaimed Daddy Rabbit. You must tell the railroad workers. Ricky Rabbit hopped up and down. Ricky Rabbit rushed over to the railroad workers. "Excuse me," said Ricky Rabbit. "I have an answer to your problem. A rainbow." The railroad workers looked at Ricky Rabbit. They scratched their furry heads. "I drew a picture of the new Rabbitville roller skate railroad," explained Ricky Rabbit. "It was a surprise for you. The paintbrush slipped from my hands. It fell on the picture. Before you could say 'Run, Red Rabbits,' there was a green streak on my picture." The green streak was on the caboose. The railroad workers shook their heads sadly. "Did you tear your picture up?" The railroad workers asked. "No," cried Ricky Rabbit. "I painted blue, red, green, yellow, and orange lines on the caboose. Mine." "Why, that may work for us too," he said with relief. "Railroad workers, grab your paintbrushes." Slippity slap! It wasn't long until the railroad workers had finished painting the caboose. There were blue stripes, red stripes, green stripes, yellow stripes, and orange stripes. The caboose looked like a rainbow. "Rah, rah, rah!" roared the workers. "Rabbitville Skate Railroad will roll tomorrow." Ricky Rabbit could hardly sleep that night. Rabbit rumpled his red blankets restlessly. "I must rest," whispered Ricky Rabbit. "Tomorrow is the train ride." Finally, Ricky Rabbit drifted off to sleep. Rappity rap! Ricky Rabbit woke up. Mommy Rabbit was raising the window shade in his room. It was morning. Daddy Rabbit, Mommy Rabbit, and Ricky Rabbit got dressed. They rode the truck to the train station. Ricky Rabbit carefully carried his train picture. It was all rolled up and tied with a bright red ribbon. "Good morning, good morning," called the railroad worker conductor. "Are you ready to ride the new Rabbitville roller skate railroad?" "Yes, sir," replied Ricky Rabbit happily. "I have my ticket. I have a present too. It is for the friendly railroad workers." "Tweet, tweet!" The rabbit conductor blew a whistle. The whistle called all the railroad workers together. The railroad workers stood around Ricky Rabbit. Gently, Ricky Rabbit took the bright red ribbon from the rolled up train picture. Rattle, whoosh! Ricky Rabbit unrolled the picture so that all the railroad workers could see. The railroad workers hung Ricky Rabbit's picture in the rainbow caboose. Then Ricky Rabbit, Daddy Rabbit, and Mommy Rabbit climbed into the new Rabbitville rainbow train. Woo, woo! The whistle sounded loud and clear. Rickety rock, rickety rock! The Rabbitville rainbow train rumbled down the tracks. Rabbit, Mommy Rabbit, and Ricky Rabbit smiled. Ricky Rabbit waved and waved. Okay, so have you ever been on a train? Wouldn't you love to be on a train? Maybe when the lockdown gets over, maybe we can all go on a train ride. What do you say? I think you've been on a train ride, probably at some amusement park. I'm sure, right? Haven't you been? If you have a picture of you riding a train in an amusement park, would you please WhatsApp it to us? Okay, that's the end of our Ricky Rabbit story. Time for questions. The paint was almost gone. What did Ricky Rabbit suggest that the railroad workers do? Yes, he suggested that they paint it like a rainbow. What did Ricky Rabbit give to the railroad workers? His train picture. Good job. What color was the ribbon that he tied? It was red. Red. What was the name of the new railroad? Rabbitville Rainbow Train. Where did the friendly rainbow workers put Ricky Rabbit's train picture? Yes, they put that in the rainbow caboose. Time for auditory drill. Rabbit reads er, er, er. Okay. Now, as I say each word, I want you to hear the sound and say yes or no to the word. Okay, if there is sound, say yes. If no, then say no. The first word, rainbow, rainbow. Rainbow reads er. Yes, so does rainbow have sound? Yes, it does. What about the word raisin? Raisin. Yes, do you like raisins? Have you eaten them ever? Yes, I'm sure you did. Rain, rain. Does the word rain have sound? Yes, it does. Reach, reach. Does the word reach have sound? Yes, it does. Roof, roof. Does the word roof have sound? It does. Bed. Does the word bed have sound? No, it does not. Raw, raw. Do you like to eat raw vegetables? Like carrots. Carrots, you can eat them raw. Yeah. And cucumbers and beetroot. Yeah. Does the word raw have sound? The word red. Red. Does the word red have sound? It does. The word ring. The word ring. Does the word ring have sound? It does. Move. Move. Does the word move have sound? Not. Rake. Rake. Does the word rake have sound? It does. The word light. Does the word light have sound? It does not. Fish. The word fish. Does the word fish have sound? Time. Does the word time have sound? No. Rock. Does the word rock have sound? It does. Radish. Radish. Yes. Race. Race. Yes. Rest. Rest. Yes. Ride. Ride. Yes. Run. Run. Yes. All these words have sound. Now I want you to pick things at home that have sound. Maybe you can have a rose at home, a rose tree or rose plant, and hold the rose and say rose. Rose reads er, er. Okay. It's time to work on our English pace. What's the color of the pace? Good. And what is the name of the pace? Good. Now, open your paces to page number 16. What are the instructions there? The instructions are listen, point or trace, draw and color. So now, listen. Okay? Place your finger on the green circle. With your finger, trace a line to the food that should be green in color. Place your finger on the orange square. With your finger, trace a line to the food that should be orange in color. Then place your finger on the red triangle. With your finger, trace a line to the food that should be red in color. Place your finger on the yellow rectangle. With your finger, trace a line to the food that should be yellow in color. With your orange marker, draw a line from each color to the correct food. Then color the foods the correct colors. Let's move on to the next page, page number 17. What are the instructions? Listen, think, color, and do as AC is doing. So carefully listen. Grandma sent AC a birthday present. AC carefully opened the pretty box. The wrapping paper was blue. The box had a beautiful red bow. AC peeked into the box. There were two new shirts inside. AC laid one of the shirts outside the box. AC said happily to his mother, Grandma sent me two shirts for my birthday. The shirt inside the box is green and the shirt outside the box is orange. Now think, what color is the shirt inside the box? What did I say earlier? Did you listen to me carefully? Yes, that's green in color. And what is the color of the shirt that's outside the box? Please rewind and listen. Color each shirt the correct color. And finally, do as AC is doing. Let's move on to the next page, page number 18. What are the instructions? Listen, point or trace, draw and color. Now, carefully listen. Ring, ring, ring. Did you hear the bell ring? The train is coming. Let the children sing. Woo, woo. Did you hear the whistle blow? Look at the children all in a row. The train is rolling down the tracks as fast as a rocket. Please stand back. We'll put on its brakes and then slow down. The orange engine is gaining speed. Look, it is getting ready to leave. Count the cars as they run past. Remember, the rainbow caboose is last. Now, with your finger, trace the orange dots all the way around the page. With your orange marker, draw a line from dot to dot around the page. When the dots are connected, what picture do you have? Color the train engine orange. Now let's go to the next page, page number 19. Yeah, turn the page. And it's page number 19. What are the instructions here? The instructions are point or trace, draw, color, and do as AC is doing. Okay? Now, with your finger, begin at the number 1. Where's the number 1? Yes, begin at number 1. With your orange marker, begin at the number 1 and draw lines from dot to dot. When the dots are connected, what picture do you have? Good. I hope you know what it is. I'm not going to tell you the answer. I'm going to ask you these questions later on. What three shapes can you see in the doghouse? Yes, you can see here this and this and this. So what are they? Yes. Which shape makes the top of the doghouse? Can you think of an sound word that means the top of the doghouse? Can you think of a color we have learned that begins with the sound? Yes, with your crayon, color the doghouse red. So now this is called roof. Roof. Yes. And the color that has sound is red. Red. Good. Now, the Virtue Son's new neighbor has 2 dogs in the backyard, but he has only 1 dog house. The 2 dogs do not seem to care that there is only 1 dog house. The yellow dog likes to sleep in the doghouse. The orange dog likes to sleep out of the doghouse. Place your finger on the dog that likes to sleep in the doghouse. What color is the dog that sleeps in the doghouse? If you have not listened, then go back and listen, please. Place your finger on the dog that likes to sleep out of the doghouse. What color is the dog that sleeps out the doghouse? With your crayon, color the dog in the doghouse yellow, color the dog out of the doghouse orange, and finally do as AC is doing. It's time for Bible story, yeah? And you can follow the story from your social studies page, and please turn your page to page number 15. The name of the story is Little Stones and Shiny Swords. You can find the story in 1 Samuel chapter 17, 38 to 50. David was looking for stones. He needed some little smooth stones. David saw some tiny stones. David saw some big stones. Finally, David found some little smooth stones just like the size he needed. David packed up 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 smooth stones. Plop, 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 plop. David dropped in the 5 smooth stones into his little leather bag. David was going to fight a big man called Goliath. Goliath was a wicked giant who did not love God. Goliath was in the army of people who did not love God. David was going to fight for the people who loved God. Goliath was coming to fight David. Goliath thought David was much too big to fight a big man like him. Goliath made fun of David. Yeah, Goliath laughed at David. But David knew that God was with him. David told Goliath that God would help him win. God would help David win the battle with Goliath. Goliath was walking closer to David. David was walking closer to Goliath. The two armies were very quiet as they watched David and Goliath walking closer and closer and closer together. Goliath had a shiny sword and a strong shield. David had his little slingshot and 5 little smooth stones. David reached into his leather bag and got out one of the little smooth stones. Quickly, David he fitted it into his leather slingshot. Whirl, whirl, whirl. David began to whirl the slingshot around his head as fast as he could whirl. Whoosh! David let the stone fly out of the slingshot. Bonk! The stone hit the big giant Goliath right in his head. Boom! Goliath fell dead on the ground. The army of the people who loved God began to cheer and praise God. God had helped David. David loved God, and God loved David. God helped David because he loved God. We love God too, and God loves us. God will help us because he loves us. Isn't that nice? Now, time for questions. For what was David looking? He was looking for smooth stones. How many stones did he pick? What was the big giant's name? I'm sure you know this answer, Goliath. Did Goliath love God? He did, he did. Hmm? No, he didn't. Was David afraid of Goliath? No, he was not afraid. David was a brave boy. Why did David win? Because he had the 5 stones, huh? Because he was very, very good at that slingshot, huh? Yeah? No, because God helped him. Okay? Now, time for a song. And the name of the song is Only a Boy Named David. Only a boy named David, only a little sling. Only a boy named David, but he could pray and sing. Only a boy named David, only a rippling brook. Only a boy named David, but 5 little stones he took, and 1 little stone went in the sling, and the sling went round and round. And 1 little stone went in the sling, and the sling went round and round, and round and round and round and round and round and round and round. And 1 little stone went up in the air, and the giant came tumbling down. Only a boy named David, only a little sling. Only a boy named David, but he could pray and sing. Only a boy named David, only a rippling brook. Only a boy named David, but 5 little stones he took, and 1 little stone went in the sling, and the sling went round and round. And 1 little stone went in the sling, and the sling went round and round, and round and round and round and round and round and round and round. And 1 little stone went up in the air, and the giant came tumbling down. It's time for scripture memory, Psalm 100. Make a joyful noise unto the Lord, all ye lands. Serve the Lord with gladness. Come before his presence with singing. Know ye that the Lord, he is God. It is he that hath made us, and not we ourselves. We are his people, and the sheep of his pasture. Enter into his gates with thanksgiving, and into his courts with praise. It's time to work on our sign space and what is the color of the sign space. Yes. So before we go ahead, I'm going to ask you a few questions. If you are thirsty, what do you need when you are thirsty? Yeah? Do you eat food when you're thirsty? No, you need a drink of water. When you feel very hot and thirsty, do you like to drink a hot drink of water or a cold drink of water? Yes, you would prefer to have a cold drink of water. How could you make your glass of water very cold? Yeah, you can put that in the refrigerator. And when you put water in refrigerator, what happens to the water? It becomes cold. You can do that today. With your mom's permission, of course. In very cold weather, what kind of drink might you like? Cold weather, like during the winters, you may like to have some hot tea. Yeah, I don't know if your mama loves hot tea. So some hot drink. In How would your mother make your drink warm? Yes, some hot milk. How does she warm your milk? Yes, she puts that on the stove and heats it up. Do you think it is helpful to know about hot and cold? Yeah, is it important? Yes, very, very important to know about hot and cold. Yeah, and now think about sometimes when you really need, when hot and cold would really help you. For example, when you're taking a bath. Yes, and if your water is very cold, what would you say? Mom or Dad, my water is very cold. I cannot take a bath with cold water. Or if your water is too hot, you can say, Mom, the water in the bucket is too hot. I cannot take bath with such hot water. Yeah. Or if your mom asks you to drink some milk and that milk is too hot and you're like, Mom, I cannot. It's too hot. It's going to burn my tongue. You can say, Mom, my drink is too hot. May I wait for some more time so that it can get a bit warmer and not too hot for me? Yes. And if your milk has become too cold and yucky, you can say, Mom, could you please heat up my milk? Because it's really cold and I don't like it that way. Yeah, you can be gentle and you can ask your parents to do that for you. This is where concepts such as hot and cold are important. Time to work on our science space, page number 9. Yeah? Now, what are the instructions? Think, point or trace, color, and do as AC is doing. Now listen carefully. AC was outside playing in the backyard. It was very warm outside. AC felt hot and thirsty. He decided to go inside the house to ask his mother for a cold drink. Now think, what did mother give AC to drink? Where did mother get the drink from? With your orange marker, draw a circle around the cold refrigerator. Now again listen. AC went back outside to play. After a while, AC began to smell something delicious. Mama must be making chicken noodle soup, thought AC. Yummy! When Mama called AC in for supper, she put a hot mug of her wonderful soup at each plate. AC could tell it was hot. The mug felt warm in his hands. AC could see the steam rising from the hot soup. Now think, was AC's soup hot or cold? Good, it was hot. What did Mama use to make the soup hot? Yes, she used a stove. With your orange marker, draw a circle around the hot stove. Now listen carefully. After a good hot meal, AC's tummy was full. AC felt fine. Mama whispered a secret in AC's ear. There is a special treat in the refrigerator freezer for our dessert. Will you please go get the treat and surprise Daddy? AC was happy to help. He found the treat and asked Daddy to guess what it was. Laughing, AC finally told Daddy, frozen yogurt bars with flat sticks for little hands. What a delightful treat for the family. A cold treat, huh? Now think, was a special treat for the family cold or hot? They were brought from the refrigerator, so they would be cold. Where did Mama keep the cold treat? Yes, in the refrigerator. With your orange marker, draw a circle around the cold refrigerator. Now listen carefully again. When supper was over, AC helped Mama clear the dishes from the table. Then the family sat down together in the living room to have family devotions. AC listened quietly as Daddy read God's word. It was Mama's turn to pray. AC listened quietly as Mama prayed. AC smiled as he heard Mama pray for him. After the family played a fun game together, AC began to feel sleepy. Daddy said, giving AC a hug, time for you for bed, my little sweetheart. Mama added, go get your pajamas on, AC. Then I'll give you some cold orange juice before you brush your teeth. Soon we will tuck you into bed. Think, does Mama make orange juice on the stove? No. Where would Mama keep the orange juice to keep it cold? Yes, in the refrigerator. With your orange marker, draw a circle around the place where Mama keeps the orange juice. And finally, do as AC is doing. Time to work on your social studies space. And what is the color of your social studies space? Good job. Now, what are the instructions? Let's look at page number 18. 18, page number 18. What are the instructions? Listen, say, color, and draw. Now, listen carefully. Christy is being a good helper by picking up all the things that belong in her toy box. She is careful to put only the toys that belong to the toy box inside. What is the name of the first thing we see? Yes, we see a bear. Does a stuffed bear belong to a toy box? Yes. Now, what is the name of the second thing we see? That's Acey's dress. Now, does a dress belong to the toy box? No, it does not. You put that in a closet. Yes. Next, you see what do you see? What is the name of the third thing you see? It's a doll. Does a doll belong in the toy box? What is the name of the fourth thing we see? It's a tea set. Does a tea set belong in the toy box? Yes, it does. She plays with it. So it belongs to the toy box. Let's do the next page, page number 19, a place for everything. What are the instructions? Listen, think, draw, do as Acey is doing. Listen carefully. Mama always tells Christy we like to have a place for everything and we keep everything in its place. While Christy is making sure her room is clean, she's careful to remember the special place where each thing goes. Christy feels happy when everything is in its place. Christy helps Mama by keeping her room neat and clean. Now think, what does Christy put away first? It's what's this? It's a dress. It's a uniform, her school uniform. Does Christy put her uniform in the closet or in the toy box? Closet or toy box? Yes, that goes into the closed closet. Yes, the second thing that she puts away is the tea set. And where does she put it away? Under the bed, on the bed, or in the toy box? Yes, they go into the toy box. Good. What does Christy put away third? Yes, what is it? Those are her ribbons. What does Christy put away third? Yes, her ribbons. Does Christy put her ribbons in the toy box or in the chest of drawers? And the drawers. Yes, she puts them in the drawers. Next, what is the last thing that Christy puts away? Yes, her paces. Where does Christy put her paces away? Does she put them in the shelf for bookshelf or in her clothes closet? Clothes closet. Puts them in the bookshelf. Wise girl. And finally, with your orange marker, draw a line from each thing to the special place where it belongs. And do as Acey is doing.